when are you finally going to get a divorce from Dad? I'm really getting sick and tired of you always being at the house doing nothing but chores all the time, so let's go.
Huh? Sarah, what do you mean by that?
I'm asking you to divorce him because I don't want you here in this house anymore.
It's clear you have a strong dislike for me, but if you had objections, you should have expressed them before the marriage. Why bring it up now? I've been together with your dad for years now, so it's really not the best time to be asking something like that now.
The only reason I never complained about you back then was because ever since my real mom left, I've been the one responsible for all the household chores. The situation wasn't ideal, but it was manageable. When Dad told me he wanted to marry someone and brought you home, I thought to myself, finally, I might be free from these endless chores. I was thrilled at the prospect of having some relief and even approved of your marriage to him. But once we actually began living together, the reality was far different from my expectations. I was freed from doing housework, but having to live with someone who I felt was an annoying old woman was more distressing.
Annoying old woman, huh?
And let's not forget, just 6 months after the wedding, Dad had that accident and ended up hospitalized, didn't he? Being stuck living alone with a strange aunt has been excruciating. It feels like a punishment, if I'm being honest.
A strange aunt?
It feels so good to finally voice my true feelings. I have had those pent up for so long now that I had no clue what I was going to do if I didn't get them off my chest.
I'm happy to hear that you're feeling better now, but if I leave, won't you have to handle the housework again?
From now on, I plan to arrange for professional cleaning services, and I'll invest in time-saving kitchen gadgets and cleaning equipment. This way I can minimize my own work and ensure everything runs smoothly. Of course, I'll also be asking that my dad doesn't make as much of a mess when he's back home.
Sarah, are you thinking about the expenses involved? Not only will all those fancy gadgets you're talking about cost a lot, but getting a cleaning service or even a maid to come over and clean, that's way too much money.
I know that, and of course I've been thinking about the cost. Dad's income seems to have increased since marrying you, so with that extra money, we can take care of all the required needs.
Huh?
Since you married Dad, his standard of living has improved, hasn't it? This means his salary must have risen, making it easier for him to support a full-time housewife like you. If you were to leave, there would be a reduction in household expenses, which would provide me with a chance to enjoy a more comfortable lifestyle with the saved money.
Excuse me, can we talk about something?
What else do you want to talk about?
I'm not a full-time housewife.
Huh? But you're always at home. Didn't you quit your job when you married Dad and told me that you'd be home a lot more often than before?
Yes, I did leave my corporate job, but...
See? You're not working.
Earning money isn't just about having a job at a company.
Huh?
Currently, I work remotely, which means that I'm pretty much able to work from home all the time.
Huh? Isn't that just doing a bit of work on the side while you handle household chores? Isn't that called piecework?
It might seem that way, but I also have passive income streams.
What's that? Even if you use fancy terminology, it still looks like piecework to me. Like you've got some kind of a small side gig or something.
Sarah, you're about to graduate from high school and have plans to go to junior college. You should start acquiring the knowledge that will be useful when you enter the workforce.
Huh? I don't understand what you're talking about. Anyway, I need my allowance.
I just gave it to you last week.
It's not enough.
No, it's not happening. If you want that money, then maybe start doing some chores as well, and I'll pay you for your hard work.
You are so stingy. My last mom was never like this.
Sarah, sorry for interrupting you, but there's something I'd like to ask you about.
What's that?
Do you know what happened to my wristwatch?
What?
It's the silver one that I've always got on when I'm going out.
I don't know where it is. Actually, I never care about what kinds of things you have on anyway, so I don't know.
I see. Well, it's the one I got from your dad. He gave it to me instead of an engagement ring to show that I promised him my love.
What? So you never got an engagement ring?
He told me that a wristwatch is something one can get a lot more use out of, so that's what we went with.
Oh.
I just wanted to ask you about this in case you had any memory of what happened to it.
Well, I still don't know.
I see. All right, then.
Hey, Mia? You returned to your family home after my high school graduation ceremony yesterday, didn't you?
Yes, that's right. I'm currently staying at my family home.
As I mentioned before, I came back because there is something important to announce. Dad's discharge date from the hospital's been set.
I'm aware of that. I received a notification about it, too.
So, regarding what we discussed the other day, could you please act on it soon?
What exactly are you referring to?
I mean, how long do you plan on staying at Dad's house? It's time for you to stop leeching off of him.
Who is leeching off of whom?
It's obviously you.
I'm not leeching. I have been working and contributing my share to the household expenses.
Well, I anticipated you might say that, so I've taken the liberty of throwing out all your belongings.
What?
I thought that might be the only way to get you to leave. Get out now! You need to divorce Dad immediately!
Oh, is that how you want to handle it? If that's the case, then you'll need to manage your dad's hospitalization costs yourself.
What are you talking about? You're acting like you're the one covering Dad's medical expenses.
Since you seem to be so concerned, why don't you take care of your dad's discharge arrangements? It might be best if you hear directly from him about his current situation and what needs to be done.
Huh? Maya!
What's going on?
Is it true that you and Dad have officially divorced? And did you really move into a high-rise apartment worth $10,000 a month? Is it also true that you covered all of Dad's hospital bills by yourself? And is it true that Dad has resigned from his job and is now unemployed?
It's quite unbelievable, but yes, everything you've heard is true.
Seriously?
To clarify everything, it might be helpful to organize your questions in chronological order.
Chronological order?
Let's start with your dad's accident. Since it was a self-inflicted accident, insurance coverage was not an option.
So you ended up covering the entire expense yourself?
Yes, that's correct. The accident involved a company car that had to be written off, so he was given the choice of either resigning or paying for the car. He opted to resign.
So it's essentially like being fired?
Yes, it's almost the same. Although your dad did receive some severance pay, it was significantly less than what he would have received if it had been a company-initiated dismissal.
I see.
Initially, my own income was sufficient to manage both the living expenses and hospital bills. Given the expletive nature of the company, I considered it a sort of unexpected blessing. But then the real issues began.
Issues?
Yes, the major problem with your dad's accident was that it occurred while he was on way to meet his mistress.
An affair? Dad had an affair?
Yes, I found this out when I visited Yoshiro-san's hospital room at an unusual time and discovered him with his mistress.
What?
After revealing the affair, further investigation showed that it had been ongoing since before our marriage. It appears he was interested in my family's wealth.
Huh? So your family is actually wealthy?
Yes, that's correct. You can think of it that way. After discovering the affair, I had to quickly manage the divorce proceedings and compensation claims. Following that, I moved back to the high-rise apartment that I owned before marriage.
Oh, the $10,000 high-rise?
Yes, this apartment was inherited from my late father. It was valued at 100 million yen when it was first purchased, but its current value is likely diminished.
But the high-rise...
Let's not dwell on the high-rise details and focus on the core issues. Because of the divorce, I won't be charging you for the hospital expenses I covered during our marriage. However, any remaining unpaid amounts will need to be settled by you.
But I'm unemployed.
And don't forget about the compensation money.
Oh, right.
By the way, the mistress has already paid her share, but your dad still hasn't paid his portion. I have a feeling that Dad's expenses have accumulated to an enormous amount. I'm concerned that his severance pay might not cover everything. How he manages his finances is not my concern, so you should discuss this matter directly with your dad. And Sarah, you too.
What about me?
Regarding the matter of you taking and selling various items of mine without permission?
Huh? You knew?
Of course. With only you and me in the house, I immediately suspected you. To gather concrete evidence, I installed hidden cameras in my room.
Cameras?
Yes, I have detailed records of what you took from my room, and I've also tracked the app accounts you used to sell those items.
That too?
You mentioned discarding my belongings, but it turns out you sold what you could, didn't you? The total damage, based on what I know, amounts to just over 5,000. I will make sure to claim that amount.
No way.
And what about the private school tuition for you?
Huh?
I was the one who paid for the entrance fee and tuition as a gesture of goodwill.
So you're the one who covered the entrance fee?
But when it comes to college, I won't be handling any future tuition costs, so you'll need to figure that out on your own.
Really? Dad doesn't seem reliable, so what should I do?
Well then, I think we're done here. From now on, please handle everything through a lawyer. Goodbye. Sarah's decision to take a leave of absence from junior college was a critical juncture in her life. Opting to step away from her studies temporarily, she embarked on a new chapter marked by independence and self-sufficiency. She moved into her own apartment and began working part-time to support herself. At first glance, this shift seemed like a positive transformation. On the surface, it appeared as though Sarah was making significant strides towards personal growth and responsibility. This new chapter promised a fresh start, free from the constraints and conflicts that had previously defined her life. However, reality often complicates seemingly straightforward transitions. Despite her best efforts, Sarah struggled with maintaining stability in her new life. Her part-time jobs were short-lived, and she was either dismissed from her positions or chose to leave them voluntarily. This pattern of frequent job changes was concerning. It seemed that Sarah was unable to find a job that suited her long-term, or perhaps she was struggling to meet the expectations and demands of her employers. This instability suggested deeper issues, whether they were related to her approach to work, her adaptability in different workplace environments, or other personal challenges she was facing. Meanwhile, my ex-husband was grappling with his own set of difficulties. Despite the urgent need to find employment and resolve the financial obligations we had discussed, he showed no significant signs of actively seeking work. His inaction and reluctance to address those financial responsibilities were sources of ongoing frustration. The financial disputes and unpaid amounts that I had requested from both him and Sarah remained unresolved, adding to the complexity and strain of the situation. The situation took a dramatic turn when Sarah's relatives intervened. Their involvement marked a significant shift in the narrative. One day, a black-painted van appeared at both Sarah's and my ex-husband's residences. The sight of those vans, coupled with their authoritative presence, suggested that serious action was being taken. The intervention was both dramatic and necessary, signaling a crucial turning point in the ongoing issues. Inside those vans were individuals tasked with collecting and transporting Sarah and my ex-husband away from their homes. The process was marked by visible distress and emotional upheaval. The intervention by Sarah's relatives aimed to address the unresolved financial issues and bring some degree of resolution to the prolonged disputes. The appearance of the black vans and the subsequent actions taken were necessary steps towards resolving the complex and ongoing problems that had affected all parties involved. Following the intervention, there was a noticeable shift in the financial situation. From the following month, payments began to be made in installments. This development was a significant improvement and indicated that progress was being made in addressing the outstanding financial obligations. Although the payments were being made in small amounts, the fact that they were occurring at all was a positive sign that Sarah and my ex-husband were now facing some level of accountability for their financial responsibilities. This change marked a crucial step toward resolving the long-standing issues that had plagued our lives. Despite these positive changes, I chose to focus on my own life and well-being. The period of dealing with financial disputes and personal upheavals had been incredibly taxing and stressful. Now that the issues were being addressed and some level of resolution was being achieved, I felt it was time to fully embrace the freedom of my single life. This newfound independence allowed me to enjoy a sense of peace and relaxation that had been elusive during the tumultuous period of dealing with these disputes. As I looked forward, I decided to focus on what truly mattered to me. The freedom from the past disputes and the opportunity to start anew provided a sense of rejuvenation. I was ready to move on from the challenges of the previous months and to embrace a future that promised greater stability and satisfaction. The experiences I had gone through provided valuable insights into responsibility, accountability, and the impact of personal actions on one's life. Reflecting on Sarah's situation, it was clear she had faced significant challenges. Her struggles with employment and the ongoing financial issues with my ex-husband highlighted the complexities of navigating personal and financial difficulties. However, the involvement of her relatives and the subsequent actions to address the outstanding payments were steps in the right direction. These changes suggested that Sarah was being held accountable for her responsibilities, and the support from her relatives played a crucial role in resolving the issues. It was evident that Sarah's journey was still ongoing. Despite the intervention and the progress in settling financial obligations, the path to stability was not straightforward. Her ongoing challenges with employment and her personal circumstances indicated that she had much to navigate before achieving the stability she sought. The support from her relatives was a crucial factor in helping her address these challenges, but the journey ahead remained complex. For me, the resolution of these disputes allowed for a sense of closure. The financial obligations that had been a source of stress and frustration were gradually being addressed. The payments made by Sarah and my ex-husband, though initially delayed, indicated that they were now facing the consequences of their actions and working to rectify the situation. This development provided a measure of relief and marked a turning point in the resolution of the issues. The involvement of Sarah's relatives and the subsequent actions they took were instrumental in bringing about these changes. Their intervention was a necessary step in resolving the financial disputes, ensuring that accountability was restored. The black-painted vans and the dramatic nature of the intervention highlighted the seriousness and the need for decisive action. As I moved forward, I was determined to embrace the freedom and independence that came with being single. The experiences of the past had shaped my approach to life and provided valuable lessons. I looked forward to a future where I could focus on my own goals and aspirations, free from the burdens of past disputes. The resolution of the financial issues allowed me to fully appreciate the sense of closure and to look ahead with renewed hope and optimism. The entire experience had been a journey of growth and self-discovery. It had taught me the importance of responsibility, accountability, and the impact of personal actions on one's life. While the resolution of the disputes provided a sense of closure, it also marked the beginning of a new chapter. I was ready to step into this new chapter with a renewed sense of purpose and a commitment to embracing the opportunities and challenges that lay ahead. In conclusion, Sarah's journey and the resolution of the financial disputes were significant milestones in the narrative of our lives. The intervention by her relatives and the subsequent progress in settling financial obligations marked important steps towards addressing the issues that had affected us. The experiences of the past provided valuable lessons and insights, shaping my approach to life and reinforcing the importance of responsibility and accountability. As I looked toward the future, I was ready to embrace the opportunities and challenges that lay ahead with a renewed sense of purpose and optimism.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.